Welcome to the Next Adventure Show channel. I'm your host, Barry Moore, and this is the Temple of Adventure, otherwise known as the Garage. So, I've had a couple questions recently about the new addition to the Africa Twin, which is a bit of a custom top case that we use to carry the drones and the camera equipment when we're out filming our rides. I really had kind of specific requirements and had to come up with something custom. And I found some kind of cool custom gadgets that you might want to use on your bike and your ride. So stay tuned. It's all coming up right after this. Right, so let's start off with the requirements. What I was really after was something waterproof and compact that wasn't too big. It wasn't going to take up too much space on the back of the bike. It needed to be waterproof and it needed to be dustproof just as importantly, because out in the middle of Australia there's tons of red dust, as you'll see in the footage. And once it gets into stuff, it doesn't tend to come out of stuff. So it's really important that it's dust-free as well. A lot of these motorcycle cases you get from the top vendors seem to be really overpriced to me. So I wanted something that wasn't going to break the bank either. Some other requirements is I wanted to be able to easily get it on and off the bike securely, so that while we're riding and having a break or having lunch, the case was securely fastened to the bike and someone couldn't just come up and run off with it. But once we got to a hotel, I could easily take the whole case off and take it into the hotel. So I didn't have to empty out the case itself. Or conversely, if I just wanted to go out filming somewhere, I could take it up the bike, throw it into the back of the car, and away we go. So I went looking for a custom solution that I could would meet exactly my needs. And here's what I came up with. This is just your basic kind of Pelican Case knockoff. You can get at any hardware store. I got it at our local hardware store. It's less than $100. I'll put the actual price here. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it certainly was affordable. It's less than $100. I think it was around $80. It's a decent size. As you can see, it's pretty thick. Standard kind of suitcase size. And it's got, it's waterproof, dustproof, etc. It's got 4 kind of clamps here to hold it securely shut, as you can see. And it's got 2 holes for locks, padlocks that you can put in here, or a cable lock or something that will keep the case closed, so that if it's on the back of your bike and you happen to run into the grocery store or whatever, someone's not going to pop open your case, grab some stuff, and run away with it. So that was the case. That was a pretty easy thing to come up with. It's big enough for all the stuff, but not too big and not too bulky and ugly on the back of a bike. But the next question became, how am I going to attach it and get it easily on and off the bike? And while it's on the bike, make sure that it's secure and locked and someone can't run off with it. So here's what I found. There's a cool little company in the States called EO2 Fasteners, or EO2. I'll put a link in the show notes here. But what they make are these interlocking plate systems, which you're having a look at now. So you put one plate on your bike, the lower receiver plate on the bike, and the upper attachment plate onto your bag. And then the 2 kind of snap together securely, and they come with an optional key lock that you can get, so you can actually lock the plates in place and nobody can run off with them. So how it works is the lower plate, which you can see here, I've just put onto my luggage rack. So this is an alt-rider luggage rack that goes on the back. You might even be able to put it straight onto the OEM luggage rack that's back there. But the way it works is in the bottom of this plate, there's a couple of rails. And you just get some bolts, some square head bolts that will slide into those rails. And then I didn't have to do anything to the alt-rider luggage rack. It already had enough holes for me to mount the lower plate to it with those bolts. Now, yeah, somebody might be able to come and unscrew the bolts and run off with the whole thing. But you could come up with a solution for that if you really wanted to. But I think that's a pretty remote thing. I'm never kind of away from the bike too long that I need to worry about that. And if I am, I'll just take the case off and take it with me. So I've got the lower receiver plate on the luggage rack just bolted on there. And then with my Pelican case, as you can see, I've mounted the lower rack to the bottom of the Pelican case. So I've just drilled 4 holes through the bottom of the Pelican case and got some washers there, relatively big washers on the inside so that it doesn't crack the plastic. And then I've silicone sealed all the inside of those bolts so that if we do get some splash up water up underneath there, that it's not going to leak through those bolts. You could even, if you wanted to, put some absorbent paper or something in there underneath the foam at the bottom, so even if some water did get in, it would get all absorbed that way. And then, so now that the plate's bolted to here, all you need to do is take this rail, this interlocking rail, lock it onto this lip of the lower plate, click it in place, push in the lock, and it's pretty secure. We've been out on a few rides on some off-road sections, some bumpy off-road sections, and it's been handling that just fine. So I'm pretty happy with this custom case. I've had a few questions, so I thought I would share the solution. Then when you want it off again, there's just a key. Unlock the lock. Comes right off. Into the hotel you go. So that's my custom top case solution. The other cool thing about these plates is, say I wanted a bigger top case or a smaller top case or some other kind of case on there, I could just buy another plate, another top plate, put it on that case, and then the cases would be interchangeable onto the same lower plate. Or you could buy another lower plate and maybe mount it on the wall, so when you came home you could just lock the cases onto the wall or any other place that you wanted to. So really super versatile solution. EO Fasteners, check them out. This is not a paid endorsement. I bought all these products with my own money, but I think they're pretty cool and they're pretty versatile and they're worth checking out. So EO Fasteners, EO2 Fasteners are called. I'll leave a link in the description. If you have any questions about my setup, please leave them down below and I'm happy to answer them. I'm Barry Moore and I'll see you on the next adventure.